Hey y'all, thank you for watching The Farming Pastor's Wife. We're gonna head home and make lace cookies. And that is lace, not laced. So we're gonna go home and make lace cookies. And I'm telling you, this is the most impressive and delicious cookie you'll make all year. So come on. Hey y'all, just got back from going with Bryant to get a sandwich. He's been working at the farm all day while I've been making Christmas goodies, and he called and said, let's go get a sandwich. So we did, and it's a good thing we did because I was getting ready to show you guys how to make lace cookies. And the recipe called for oats, and it calls for quick oats, but all I had at home was old-fashioned. Well, I hem-hawed around and thought, I think they'll work, and I even have them measured out and everything. But while we were in town eating the sandwich, I thought, oh, just to be safe, I'll get the quick oats because I know that's what has worked in the past, and I'm a little scared. And this is a delicate cookie anyway, so let's go on in. I'm going to wash my hands, get washed up, and I'll show you how to make lace cookies. Hey y'all, and welcome back to my kitchen. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this recipe I'm going to do. It is actually called lace cookies. I re-listened to the video earlier and it sounds like I'm saying laced cookies, but it's not laced. They're lace, like pretty frilly lace. This is I wasn't going to make this recipe today, but I just happened to listen to the weather this morning and they're calling for rain. And this is one of those recipes that if you do it when it's raining, sometimes they don't set up because these are so delicate. I mean, you can actually see through them. They're crispy, but if any moisture gets to them, it doesn't work. So I'm going to tell you some things I'm going to try this time that I've never tried before. I have never, these flies. I have never tried those, tried them on like a seal pat. So I'm going to try one batch on the seal pat. I've also never cooked them in this particular oven because I haven't made them since we moved to our house now. So I'm not familiar with this oven as far as these cookies. And like I said, these cookies are kind of temperamental. I have always made them on parchment paper. So I have some parchment paper already cut out and ready. In fact, this recipe makes several cookies because you make them really small. And I actually have 4 pans ready. And you'll be rotating, letting them cool, then taking them off. And letting them, so you can keep 4 pans rotating kind of all at the same time. So I've got my oven preheated to 375. And let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need 2 eggs. And that's kind of why I'm waited as long as I have today to make these. Because I forgot to lay out my eggs to room temperature. But I've got 2 eggs and I'll crack those in this bowl in just a little bit. 2 sticks of butter. You're going to have 2 cups of the quick oats. I had old-fashioned. I already had it measured out and was going to use it, but I just was a little scared. So I got the quick. And basically they've just been cut up a little finer and they cook a little quicker. That's basically the difference. A cup of chopped pecans. About a teaspoon of vanilla. I really don't usually measure this. I'll just kind of pour and go. Let's see, you're going to need a teaspoon of baking powder. And 1 cup of white sugar, which I have down here at the bottom, and 1 cup of firmly packed brown sugar. So, got my sugar. Everything's ready to go. I'm just kind of waiting on my eggs to get room temperature. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything over here to my mixer. Forgive my mess behind my mixer and my open cabinet door. Y'all, that's going to be some kind of theme on my channel is the open cabinets. It's like never ending. Anyway, and like I said, some of them don't shut. So, it's an old house. But anyway, I'm going to get everything over here to the mixer. Forgive the mess behind it. That's all my goodie stuff. It's just kind of piled up over there. But we're going to make these cookies, and we're going to get them going in the mixer. And we're going to start with our butter and sugar first thing. And then we'll put our eggs in, our baking powder, and then we'll add our oats and our pecans. And so I'll meet you over here at the mixer, okay? Okay, guys, so I've got the butter in here going a little bit. Let me, I'm going to pour both sugars, the brown sugar and the white sugar, in all at one time. All right, I'm going to beat that up a little bit. While that's going, I'm going to step over here and get a spatula. All right, now I'm going to pour in my 2 beaten eggs. I'll just kind of beat them up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with a teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder in. Now, like I said, on my vanilla, I don't measure. Alright, before I put the nuts and the oats in, I'm going to cut it off and just scrape down the sides and make sure everything is incorporated in there. Putting in my oats now. Y'all, there is no flour in these cookies. No flour at all. And they are so good. Alright, I'm going to scrape down the sides one more time. Make sure everything's incorporated. And y'all, this, you cannot put these, you're going to be tempted to use tablespoon or some kind of big scooping method. But you need to stick with a teaspoon and nothing bigger, because they do spread out. So now that my dough is ready, my cookie's ready, I'm gonna scrape the paddle down, and I will meet you guys over here at my table, my island, my makeshift island, my desk that my daddy made me when I was a little girl. I'm gonna meet you over there, and we'll start putting them on the sheets or baking pans. Okay, guys, so these spread quite a bit. So let me show you if I can get it out of the light. I'm not going to go by these circle things. I'm going to kind of maybe go in between and try to get 4 across and 5 down. Hopefully I can get that many. But it's going to be small. And see, because they're going to flatten out and spread. I may only get 3 across. In fact, I may just do that. Do the 3 round big ones. I'm not going to fill that circle up, but that may be where I place them because they do spread, and we'll just see. Again, I don't know how it's going to work on this Silpat piece of material. We'll check it and see. So let me get going and I'll get them on here. Okay, so here they are on my Silpat. I got a little large in these, but we're going to try this and see how it works while this is in the oven. I'm going to put it in for 5 minutes. My old oven, I checked 6 minutes was perfect. This one I think cooks a little hotter, so I'm going to try this one at 5 minutes and check it. So while this one's in the oven, I'm going to get another pan going. Okay guys, this is the first batch of lace cookies coming out of the oven, and it is hot. I'm not going to try to move them because it would create a mess if I tried to move them right now. But they look perfect. Absolutely perfect. So the Silpat may work. The time will tell when we see it come off, but we're going to let it cool a little while. And I've already put a second batch in the oven, but this is exactly what they're supposed to look like. That's the brownness. And it did take 6 minutes on this pan. My other pans are dark pans. So I put it in for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and we'll see how it comes out. But this pan did stay in exactly 6 minutes. 5 was not quite enough. Okay guys, I'm taking them off the Silpat, and if you'll just see, you lift them right up. And can y'all see why they're called lace cookies? You can see right through them. They are so good. I'm just taking them off because that butter is going to get it moist on the Silpat. And so we want to get them off there so they'll cool real crisp. And they're just lifting right off. These are already cool, perfectly cool. And I'm just going to wipe off that Silpat. And we're going to use it again. These cookies are delicious. My daughter came in today and was just like thrilled that I was making them. So I'm going to go take this back in the kitchen and get some more going. I wanted to show you guys this batch. On this one, I got tempted to make them bigger than a teaspoon, and just like I told y'all not to do. And they ran together, and then when I was trying to take them off, they stuck together. And I probably tried to take them off a little too soon, but they're still beautiful. Don't you dare throw that away, because that is some goodness right there. You can snack on that. They are so good. So I just wanted to show you that. This is what happens when you make them too big. No larger than a teaspoon. I've got one more batch in the oven of the lace cookies. And there they are. And then there's the crock pot candy I did earlier. But I'm going to grab one of these not so pretty ones. But you can see right through them. That's the pecan, that dark thing. Let's see. There you go. You can see through them. They're like lace. And they're so good. Now there's a lot of butter in there, so if they get a little chewy, that's fine. But they should be fairly crisp. Like, I'll break this one. Do you see how it broke? The hard part about these is the storage. Because if you put them in a regular plastic container, they get soft. So we found that the best plastic to put them in is like that flimsy plastic, that really thin. I think we got it at Sam's. The Brownie Bites came in. But that's the best way. And every few layers, I'll put a piece of parchment paper down. But, so that's what I'm going to store them in. I haven't figured out the best way yet. But anyway. Alright. Well, I don't know how many I got done. I haven't even tried to keep count, but there's several. And I got another batch in the oven. So this batch got a little brown, but that's okay. I like it brown. I like the way they taste when they get dark. So they didn't burn. They just got a little darker than the rest of them. But there you have it. These are the lace cookies. These are so good. If you don't try a cookie, if there's only one cookie you try recipe, this should be it, because they're so good, and they're very impressive. That they're that thin. You can call them lace cookies. So anyway, there you go. Hey y'all, and I wanted to give you one more tip on these lace cookies. Do not, by any means, use wax paper to cook them on instead of parchment paper. The reason I'm saying this is my daughter thought wax paper and parchment was the same thing. And if you use wax paper to cook these cookies on, you are going to have a mess. Yes, you're going to have a mess. These guys just walked down. They looked at me like I'm crazy. Anyway, you will have a tremendous charcoal mess. So do not use wax paper to cook them on. Use parchment. And with this parchment paper, you can just wipe the butter off and reuse them time and time again, because you're going to bake several batches. And then when you're done baking the batches, you can wipe them off again, fold them up, put them in a Ziploc bag, and keep them for the next time you make it. So this parchment paper comes in handy, but by all means, do not use wax paper. So anyway, y'all have a good day, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. Thank you for watching The Farm and Pastor's Wife.